I'd love to call this meeting to order. And I should probably do a roll call. And I can't see who's there, Carol, so if you could do that for me, that would be fabulous.
Okay. Melissa Tobias.
Melissa's having trouble with her internet at the moment, so she just texted me. She may try to join us, but.
Alicia Basin.
And I'm joining by phone because I don't have internet. This is Pat.
Just say where you're calling in from when you call your name then. Laura Bonnell.
Yes, I'm here, Royal Oak, thanks.
Jody Allison. Jason Gittinger.
I'm on Kelly's Island in Ohio.
Denise Rusky.
Here, Royal Oak.
And Mayor Pro Tem Pat Peruch.
Here at home in Royal Oak with no internet and just barely electricity.
Uh-oh. All right. And then Jason, at this time we'll introduce Susan Barkman. She is the new assistant to the city manager. And while I'll remain active providing some administrative support, certainly to Susan and the group, Susan will become more staff liaison.
Awesome. Hi, Susan. Welcome. We're pleased to have someone help us. Super helpful. And actually, after we get through public comment and all that, I would love to add something to the agenda, and that would be us just giving you some insight into who your volunteers on this committee are. I would love for everybody to have time to express that to you at some point during this meeting. Is that something we could add to the agenda? Would there be a motion for that somewhere?
Yeah.
Thank you, Jody.
Now that you've completed roll call, you're on to approval of the agenda, so you can add it during that portion of the agenda.
Beautiful. We'll add that somewhere down the way after our guests with our public art applications. If there's a second for Jody's motion on that. Is there support for
I
that?
second. Oh, yep.
Thank you.
Denise.
Thank you.
Got it.
Denise, all in favor? And we'll go down the roll call. If you could do that for me, Carol, because I don't know who was in the room there.
We'll go the other way. Mayor Pro Tem Peruch.
Yes.
Denise Rusky.
Yes.
Jason Gittinger.
Yes.
Jody Ellison. Yes. Laura Bonnell.
Yes.
Ashley Baseline. Yes. And Melissa is still not with us, so.
Beautiful. Does that add that to our agenda and approve our agenda for tonight, or do we still need to approve our agenda for tonight?
I'd say that does go.
Boom, done. This brings us to our public comment section, and I know we have some people in the room that would like to express some things to the Commission for the Arts. So if somebody could do us the honors of helping with that, that'd be fantastic.
I'll take a whack at it. If you want to comment, can I have you line up on that one? No, line you up and then just come back around. Yeah. And remember when you speak, sit here, look at them and speak and look into the camera. Way up there, sorry, it's very tall. You can sit or stand, it's up to you.
We're going to make Jason go first because he's really good at public speaking and he's really good at following directions and he'll be a great example person.
And just some comments for you. Every person gets 3 minutes public comment, and it's not necessarily if you ask questions that they might not get answered back, but they'll be taken into account and answers will be gotten for you from appropriate staff members.
Okay, thank you. So to sit in the chair?
You can sit or stand, it's up to you.
Lighting, please. Or makeup. There you go. Yes. We have a stopwatch. I'll be timing everyone.
Thank you. My bad.
Hello, and I really want to thank the Commission for the Arts for taking these public comments tonight on this very important matter. Royal Oak has always been a mecca of culture for me. I grew up in the suburbs in Macomb County, vast cultural wasteland, and so I sought out places like the Main Art. And when it came time for me to decide where I wanted to live and where I wanted to raise my family, the vicinity to Royal Oak, to the main art theater, really weighed heavily in that decision. I counted it off actually, and it was 23 minutes from my house to the box office. And to me, that was an appropriate distance, and we put a down payment on the house. So I really appreciate this commission today. I know you're tasked with promoting culture within the city of Royal Oak, including preservation of the arts like film. Main Art is a very unique location. I'm wearing my Ann Arbor t-shirt, Film Festival. People go to Ann Arbor for their culture, for their film theater, for their concerts. We really want to make sure that Royal Oak maintains that type of environment for the people in Oakland County, in Wayne County, in Macomb County. So I really want to encourage you in this commission to work with whatever channels we can to make sure that the films stay running at 11 and Main. And yeah, I really hate to lose that theater, and I appreciate your time. And I just ask that we all as a community do what we can to save the Main. Thank you.
Thank you.
Carol, am I supposed to get his name, or did you already get it? Am I supposed to?
I did not, but I'll just have everyone just can write your name down. Question person, so pray for this.
So,
Who's not?
next person. Hello, committee. My name is Brian DeRay, and I live in Pleasant Ridge with my husband. And just like Jason, I also grew up in Macomb County and kind of fell in love with the Royal Oak Main Art Theater and a lot of the cultural institutions that were around. And as a teenager, that building was always there. And I think of it as kind of like the Welcome to Royal Oak sign. It's a beautiful Art Deco building, which just kind of needs some love and also some activity. It could also, there's so many different uses for it besides a movie theater, but I definitely would love to see it as a movie theater, and again, and people to continue enjoying the programming at the Main Art Theater. And again, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. My name is Brian DeRay. I'm from Pleasant Ridge, Michigan.
Thank you, Brian.
Next one. Hi, my name is Pamela Murray. I've only lived in Royal Oak for 4 years because I spent the first 50 years of my life in Pleasant Ridge and before that Detroit, where I was born. And I've always been involved in the arts. I was an art major at Wayne State University. And one of the reasons we moved here 4 years ago was to be in closer walking distance to the Royal Oak Main Art Theater, where it's been my cinema home, as well as the DFT in Detroit. I brought my son there since he was 12 years old. And I'd like to point out one thing that a lot of people are missing in all the discussions about saying goodbye temporarily to the Main, because I believe it should only be temporarily. We've done tons of research in the last week to find out many options for reopening it, hopefully with your support and advocacy. But there was one part of programming there that was really close to selling out every time they ran it, and that was the National Theatre of London live recordings, including operas and live stage shows from the West End, which most particularly appealed to people with my color hair. And it's wonderful when you are somebody with my color hair and you live on a fixed income and you can't possibly ever dream of buying a ticket to London's West End to be able to see it on a big screen and drink tea and pretend you're there. Thank you.
Thank you, Pamela. Pamela, right?
Hello, committee. My name is Scott Hoke. I live in Roseville, but before March, I was in Hazel Park and Berkeley. I've been in the Oakland area my entire life. I've always been a creative person. I went to the College for Creative Studies where I studied animation. So I do filmmaking. I love filmmaking, and I've made so many countless cherished memories at the Main Art Theater with their midnight movies program, with just having that access to Art House. It was my very first exposure to that. And I feel like there are other theaters around the area that kind of do similar things, but not quite like Main Art, like the London Opera. And I just feel like it'd be such a shame to see that go away. So I'm just here to voice my support for saving it, and whatever needs to happen, I'm here and I'm ready. And yeah, that's all I got. So thank you again for hearing us out.
Thank you.
Hello, committee. I'm Tony Persinger. I live in Hazel Park right now, but the last 20 years I spent living just down the road in Madison Heights. I second a lot of what Scott just said. And for me, going to college in Southfield, a lot of the other students that I made friends with were from out of town or from out of state. And I just have so many memories that were made because of the main art, and especially the midnight movies, but also the other international and independent films that they showed. Just I saw a lot of friendships get made, and it's something that family from out of town would come into Royal Oak so that we could do this together. It's an important landmark in the area, and I think it would be a shame for it to go away. So thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, I am Ryan Murray. I moved here a few years back with my mom, but I've been going to the main arts since I was around 12. It's still a special part of my cinema going experience that I haven't been able to get out of the other theaters in the area. And I went to Wayne State for a few years, and I was kind of the same for a lot of students there as well. So I was just hoping that you guys would be allies in either helping the main art become a theater again, or if that can't work, finding some way to fill that gap in the Royal Oak community. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Kendra Pierce. I am representing the Real Movie Lovers. We are a very passionate movie group that is 400 strong, and I moved here from South Carolina, and that's when I discovered my love for independent film and documentaries. And when I moved to Michigan, it really flourished, and thanks in part to the Main Art Theater. The Main Art Theater is such a unique cinema. It's like no other experience, and I've gone to multiple different cinemas in Michigan, and there's nothing like the Main Art Theater. It holds a very special part in my heart, as well as our members. We're very adamant about doing whatever we can to assist the community with saving the Main Art Theater because of its uniqueness. When I think of Royal Oak, the first thing that comes to my mind is not a bar, it's not a restaurant, it's the Main Art Theater. So those two are synonymous. And when I found out that it was possibly going away, it was devastating. So I'm hoping that the city of Royal Oak can do something to preserve this treasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Josh Boggs. I've been a resident of Royal Oak for about 9 years. As of course you know, the past year and plus several months has been just catastrophic for the arts in many ways. The Main Art Theater was open from December through April, and it sort of straggled along with a couple people showing up, maybe a couple times a week. And it's just no way for an institution that's been here since before the United States joined the Second World War to go just 2 weeks before things really start reopening. And so I'm here both to express my concern for the loss of not only a theater that is a bastion of independent and foreign art film, but also a theater that showed movies every day of the week. That if you were so inclined and maybe not too responsible, you could take a long lunch and go see a movie. You could gossip with your friends at school about what was playing on Saturday night, and both made movies fun and it was a place for culture. So anything that the commission can do, to support this theater or the continued presence of movies, independent art films in Royal Oak. Just be more than grateful for it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello, thanks for the time. I'm going to apologize ahead of time. I'm going to have to cast my eyes downwards occasionally and read this. But my name is Jane Strunk. I live on Gall Street in Royal Oak, where my husband and I have lived for over 40 years, raised our kids here. I worked in the Royal Oak schools and countless times have been to the Main Art Theater. So living in Royal Oak for so long, one can't help but conclude that Royal Oak is a city of transformation. We've seen a lot of changes in these 40 plus years. Restaurants, retail, businesses, they come, some go, some expand, but development happens like this beautiful building, and soon we'll have our first urban park, and I'm really excited about that. But to me, what's defined our unique downtown area are the memory makers that span multiple generations. So these are the places that reflect the character, the culture, and the values of Royal Oak that we love. I include the Farmers Market and our three cultural anchors, the Stagecrafters, Baldwin Theater, the Royal Oak Music Theater, and of course the Main Art Theater. So all three draw thousands of entertainment and theater lovers from the entire metropolitan area. And all three stand for things that are really immeasurable, which is our rich culture, our community identity, and the experiences that become the stuff of memory. So I have learned, and in 1984, the city of Royal Oak took over the Baldwin, the Stagecrafter Baldwin Theater. You may know this, but it was news to me, and the theater was not able to pay its bills. Its very existence was at risk. Thanks to the leadership and vision of the city planner at that time, and the mayor and the commission, and I read hundreds and hundreds of hours of volunteer labor, the Baldwin was saved and restored. And the Stagecrafters eventually attained nonprofit status, and to this day it thrives. What was accomplished with the Baldwin tells me that at this moment, when the very existence of the Main Art Theater is at risk, that we have history and precedent and many, many supportive independent film lovers to inspire and guide the next chapter of the Main Art Theater. I believe we can do this. I think it's possible. So I have two questions to ask of the Art Commission for you to consider. Would the commissioners for the arts support an effort to preserve independent film and the Main Art Theater? And would you consider working possibly with a citizens group, with our city manager and the city commission to protect the Main and preserve this most important part of our identity as a city of culture here in Royal Oak? Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Elizabeth Jacobs, and I think everybody today, this evening, has been very eloquent about how much they support the arts and how important this film center is for them. I just want to point out that every time I come to the Main Art Theater, I pay the fee of a ticket. Some of that money goes to Royal Oak as part of the taxes. I pay for parking. Some of that money goes to Royal Oak as part of taxes. I will stop at a restaurant, Detroit Taco, or the Greek Cucina, or any other restaurant on the main strip. What I pay there goes back to Royal Oak in taxes. I'll stop at the holiday market, the same thing. So I think that not only do we have an art issue here, but we also have an issue about the tax base. And I would greatly appreciate it if you would consider that when you decide whether you're going to help us retain the theater. Thank you.
Is there anybody else who wants to speak? I do. Come on up.
So, 3 minutes per speaking. So I've got a timer so people can follow along.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Charlotte Massey. I live in Royal Oak. I'll just keep this really brief. I know. Oh, hey. Yeah, there we go. All right. I just want to say, I know obviously I'm not alone in mourning the shutdown of the theater. I do think that there's a clear audience for independent film in this community and in the metro area. You only have to witness the success of the Detroit Film Theater, the Maple, the State and the Michigan in Ann Arbor, and the draw of festivals like Toronto and Traverse City. You can catch a lot on a TV streaming service, in fact, but there's nothing beats a big screen. And in fact, I just went to my first movie in a year and a half over at the Imagine and saw In the Heights. And it's like, it's not the same thing as streaming. And I just wanted to say that art can't be quantified into dollars and cents. And the main art gave a spirit and a center to this town that can be replaced by lofts and condos, many of which are still partially vacant years after being constructed, and bars and restaurants. The theater gave Royal Oak, its cool city vibe. It's the reason that those places opened up in the first place. It was a center to the city. And I do hope that the city will, really hope we can find a way to update it, to keep it open as some form of independent cinema, however that happens, and that the city will involve the community and listen to the community going forward for any kind of plans. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Rick Dion. I wasn't going to say anything, so I don't have anything prepared, but someone insisted that I talk. I think art, we're talking about art here, and we're talking about like a higher level of culture in the city of Royal Oak. And art is not the toy department of our lives. Art is crucial. And I think looking at the world with the pandemic, and not just that, but the political situation and the racial situation, there's so many things going on that are kind of a negative thing. And we need the art to balance that. The worse things get, the more important art becomes. And today it is definitely crucial. So that's all I got to say about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick.
And we have someone on Zoom, Carol, that wants to speak.
If there's anyone else, is there anyone else in the room?
There's two.
Okay. Two more people want to speak. And if there's anyone else on the Zoom call and the attendants who'd like to speak, raise your hand. You do that by hitting *9. Okay, we'll call on you and then we'll go back to some in person. Bernie, you can begin speaking when you're ready. If you're on a phone, to unmute, hit *6. There you go.
Hey there, I'm Bernie Rosendahl. I'm actually a Birmingham resident. I just remember times, this is in actual support of the Main Art Theater, and I'm originally from the Upper Peninsula, and I went to Central Michigan. I just remember the cinematic arts program at CMU and carpooling 2 hours down from Mount Pleasant to see movies at the Main, because it was so important for our program and the students there to get introduced to great cinema. And then, many years later, one of the things that attracted me to living in Oakland County was the ability to go to the Main Art as much as I could. Like a person had said here, art and independent films, they don't feel the same in the multiplex. They feel right at the Main Art, because that building just has so much character. And when I drive in the Royal Oak, I feel the Main and the Royal Oak Music Theater are these bookends to the city and give it its identity. I believe that the theater can probably survive with a little TLC and possibly a nonprofit status and more community buy-in. That's why I'm hoping the panel and the commission and the Arts Commission here can back us in helping us make this a reality and reviving this. I'm familiar with some historic renovations of movie theaters, film programming, and general theater logistics. I was a part of a reconstruction of a movie theater in Marquette, Michigan, that's now a distillery, and we've kind of got hand in hand with restoring that building and making it a viable facility again. And anything I can do to help the commission and help the panel here to restoring the main, I'll do that for you. Thank you.
Is there anyone else online who wanted to make public comment?
There's one EM.
Hi, I don't know how my video's not going. Can you hear me?
Hear you.
Hi, I don't know why I don't have video. Is that an option?
It would be on your end on your computer, so I don't see anything. Yeah, we're not doing anything to stop.
Okay, yeah, I don't know why there's no video, but hi, my name is Lee Miller. I am recently graduated from College for Creative Studies as well. I was actually a schoolmate of Scott's, and I am very much about doing anything to, keep the theater running, not through Landmark anymore, obviously, but keeping it around as something that's accessible. It's something that's irreplaceable. It's been around 81 years, and though it's had, slightly different iterations, it's presented film, and it really is, as people have said already, an irreplaceable space. I'm in Ferndale personally, and I lived in Detroit before that. And, there's like the State Theater in Ann Arbor, and we have the DFT and the Senate and those theaters, but in general, that there aren't that many left, and they've been disappearing. And even if, you just kept the facade of the building, that isn't the same as keeping that theater and just having that experience of going in and seeing a film. And I'm 26 now, but during high school, I would go with friends to the Main Art to see both independent premieres and midnight showings of Rocky Horror. And everyone's been saying those memories, but in order to keep having those memories, you have to keep something like that alive. And many, many people are willing to keep it alive, without Landmark as a nonprofit, as, community run, whatever is needed. Having the accessibility of that culture where the DFT can feel a little foreboding or pretentious at first, maybe. The accessibility with the Main Art and just the vibe that it has and what it shows, the culture around it. It brings something to Royal Oak. It brings people to Royal Oak that you can't get any other way. And sure, you have the Imagine Theater there, but that isn't the same experience. That isn't the same as what the Main Art, as what an art theater has. I know I went to school for photography, and having cinema, like in cinema, in person and film, inspired me so much. I wouldn't be working without that kind of inspiration, and especially being in the theater space, especially older theaters. And, it might not be the DFT or the state in terms of the interior, but having that experience and again, just that accessibility of being there and seeing it's irreplaceable, and you can't rebuild that. You can't remake that. And that's something that should be there lasting for as long as possible. Both throughout high school and in college, I was on committees for, in high school, I was on for a nonprofit theater, not film, but performing. And then in college, I was on the board for student government at CCS. And I currently work at a historic home in Detroit doing documentary work, and anything that I can do for that, I do a lot of awareness, sorry, I can't think of the word. I do a lot of promotional work and artwork, and anything I can do to raise awareness about the theater, to help promote that, to help create things. And I know that it has some structural things. I'm very happy to help contribute to that if there's a committee for it. Keeping that art alive, keeping that continuing forward is just, it's vitally important.
Can you just
Thank
wrap
you,
up
Lee.
quickly?
Sorry.
I'm sorry?
Your 3 minutes of public comment have expired.
It was 3 minutes, but thank
Oh,
you.
thank you. No,
Lee, we
I
really
was finished. I was
appreciate-
just saying that it's vital to keep that alive. Thank you.
Thanks, Lee.
Thank you, Lee. Appreciate it. Julie?
Let me get her permission.
Hello.
Julie Craft, you are ready to speak now.
Hello? Can anyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Sorry. I don't know why I can't see my video, but yeah, so I've lived in Royal Oak for over 10 years. I've actually lived in within walking distance of the Main Art Theater the past 4 years. And we had started walking to the Main Art, my wife and I, pretty often prior to COVID-19 happening. So I just feel like what I've noticed, pretty much all cities have a central theater of some sort, a independent feeling sort of center. In most cities in the area in Michigan, I've noticed that. Even Birmingham, though they have a larger theater, they do have the Birmingham 8. And I would hate to lose that here in Royal Oak. I'm turning 40 this year. I've had many, like, I would say big milestones in my life and like very prominent memories I have that happened at the Main Art, whether it was at a midnight showing of a movie or just any gatherings with friends there. It's like a unique experience that you can't really have at a larger theater like Imagine and so forth. So I hope that even if it isn't a landmark theater, that it can still exist as an independent art theater. Hopefully there's someone else that can pick that up. I love to go to the Detroit Film Theater also, but the Main Art is a unique thing to Royal Oak, and I feel like there's nothing else like it here. And the fact that it's being able to walk to it and having like a walkable community, I think that really contributes to it also. So I would hate to see it go, and I would love to help in any way, and like even if it meant paying a little more taxes or something, if something is passed that could, you know, need more funding, I think many other residents would be willing to contribute too. So we want this, like, and all my friends, like when they heard about this, they're like, oh, there goes one of the last bits of culture in Royal Oak, because it feels like it's turning into something else. And don't know how to solve that, but I would love to see what can be done, of course.
Thank you so much for your words.
Okay. 2 minutes.
Are there any other public comments? So I'm not there in the room with everyone, but I'd love to thank you all for your words this evening. To give you the lay of the land, this is the Royal Oak Commission for the Arts. Our mission is to encourage and support arts and culture in Royal Oak. So I think I speak for everybody on this committee when I say we feel you guys. Now, that being said, we are only a body that can make recommendations to the actual city commission, which means we don't really have any power on this board to do anything other than make recommendations to the city commission. So you guys have a tremendous voice here this evening with us. And I would encourage you guys to keep using your voice and expressing yourselves to people further up the food chain than us. Thank you. If there's no more. What was that?
Pat.
Yes, Pat.
I'm here, but I can hear people. I can't see hands.
I thought you had your hand up,
Go ahead.
Pat, Jody.
I don't think so. I can't do hands with just my iPhone, which is what I have to use.
No worries. Thank you, Pat. Jody, did you have a comment?
No, I'm just making motions, you know me.
No worries. Well, thank you everybody for showing up. I'm going to move us along onto our guests that we have with us, because we're actually going to try to get some more public art in our city tonight. So our next thing on our agenda, if I can pull it up here, public comment, approval of our minutes, May 17th. Is there any motion to approve our minutes from May 17th?
I can do that.
Thank you, Denise. Is there a second?
I can second. Yep.
Thank you. Thank you, Laura. I will call for a vote. I guess maybe we're not doing anything right now.
probably for the meeting, we'll have we get
Are we taking a pause?
Yes, or Jason.
Or I can't hear anybody.
Sorry, we're just taking a pause as folks kind of clear out the other room for conversation.
Cool.
Representative
Alice. Yeah. You know, we just need that we want this support. I've actually married two significant investors in something who would offer money to help. And I also. Well, also, we
Pardon me, folks. Pardon me, folks. If we could, I think we should keep moving because we have some guests. Hello? Thank you. Awesome. Carol, we just need to, we had a motion and a second to approve our minutes from May 17th. So we just need a vote. Jody,
Yes.
is that Alicia?
Yeah.
Yes, awesome. Laura?
Yes.
Laura, awesome. Denise?
Yes.
Pat?
Yes.
So moved. I think that's everybody that was there, right? Okay. Financial update. Do we have a financial update?
I do not have a fin, I'm assuming that was always James that presented that first. I don't have one for you guys this month. But we're starting to do this year today, so good money.
We'll get it figured out. No big deal. So I'll move us along to our guests this evening. We have application from Beaumont Hospital. And our guest is Megan Fox. Megan, welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for adding us to the agenda tonight. I'm Megan Fox, as you mentioned, and I'm a marketing specialist at Beaumont. And Larry Wu has joined as well. He's the director of marketing and brand advertising as well. So I reached out to the Royal Oak Commission for the Arts in the hopes that maybe you could help us find a permanent home for a mural that was painted back in 2018. Beaumont commissioned the local native artist and award-winning artist, Desiree Kelly. You may be familiar with her as she's painted a few murals in downtown Royal Oak as well. She's very involved in the community and supporting businesses. But what she did is she helped us paint a mural to kick off Women's Health Month at Royal Oak Beaumont campus, again, back in 2018. And it was all of May and June that the mural was up. It was of 24 women, all of whom were patients at Beaumont, different backgrounds and stories and diagnoses. Beaumont wanted to show the strong and resilient women that they were from our community and the services and physicians that supported them at Beaumont, and just thanking them and empowering women for Women's Health Month. So it's a really beautiful piece. We don't have a place for it currently. We would love to keep it in Royal Oak still. Because it was, at the Royal Oak Beaumont campus. And we were hoping that maybe the Commission of the Arts would be able to help us find a permanent home.
Thank you, Megan. I feel like we're gonna have some questions. Are there questions? Jody has questions. I know Jody has questions.
I always have questions. So what, size-wise, I'm looking at the pictures. What size are we talking about, Megan?
So it's 8 foot tall and 16 foot wide, and it's a 3D mural. So there's two sides that have the mural, and then the back of it doesn't have. It's like just a board to help hold it up.
Okay, and this is something you're looking for a location. This isn't something you're thinking of keeping on the campus.
No, we just wanted to find a permanent home for it, to be able to donate it to the Royal Oak local area. It's a very community fueled mural, and at the bottom, I don't know if you can see at the bottom, it says, we don't quit, and yeah, women don't quit, we don't either. So it's just very community focused.
Gotcha. No, and I think it's a great piece. Now, I do have a concern because one of the issues that we run into with the public art, now if this were a mural you were putting up, we would bring this up as well. Because it is branded, because it does have the Beaumont name on it, that may be an issue. It would probably have to go to City Commission, and then they could say, but is this something that you would definitely want to keep the tagline, which is a great tagline, not questioning, but it could be seen as more like a billboard or advertising, and that would be the question I think they would have as well. So are you married to keeping that on there as part of the mural? Obviously, it is part of the mural. Or would there be the chance that that could be removed and the mural itself still presented? That's a long way of asking that question. I never don't use a word if I can stick one somewhere. So
Megan, you want me to, I could
Yeah, if
answer
you
that
wouldn't mind
for you
taking
guys.
that, yep.
So yeah, I mean, as Megan was mentioning before, it was part of kind of a campaign that Beaumont was doing. If you guys remember that giant heart that was right in front of the hospital, right off 13 Mile, it was kind of similar thing as that. It was kind of more of a, something you could see and not necessarily listen to on the radio or see on TV. So that was the original campaign. For the purpose of kind of finding a home for this piece of art that we think is really outstanding, we would have no problem taking off any kind of marketing aspect of that. So replacing the bottom, removing the bottom. We still have part of our website that kind of is kind of that stories about each person. We could remove that part as well, so that there is no kind of linkage to the old marketing campaign, so that this would be hopefully truly just artwork that people could enjoy, because it's quite honestly been in storage for the last couple years.
yeah, and better to get it out and seen than to have it sitting in a warehouse. Understood. Well, thank you for the answer. I appreciate it. Anybody else, or am I the only one who always has questions? Always.
I don't, yeah, go ahead, Jason.
I was just going to make logistical considerations, like where does it go and what do we do with it? Where does it?
I guess my question, like that goes along with where does it go, is in the pictures it looks like it might be under some sort of covered area. Is that the case? Was it weather protected when it was shown last time? Like, was it under something so that rain and things didn't hit it? Or
When it was at Royal Oak, it was near the kind of the covered area, but it was open.
okay.
So it's designed to be outdoor. I'm not sure if it would survive too many nights like last night outdoor. So I'm not, so I'm not sure how weatherproof it actually is. But we had it up for a couple of months. It moved around to different hospitals where it was out in the open. And even though it's designed to be kind of this 3D part, it would look fine flat, right? So if it was against the wall or mounted to a wall, I think one concern, I don't know if it was in the application, when we had our engineers look at it, it would have to be secured, right? You couldn't just rest it there because you'd be worried about it falling over. So that was really the main concern of having it located in one of our locations permanently, is having it mounted was kind of heavy. Having it kind of against the wall, we would just need a big place for that.
Thank you, Larry. Laura, did you have a question?
Alicia asked my question. I was just wondering if it could be outside.
Beautiful. I guess my question is for Susan and Carol. Susan, right? Susan. Got to get that programmed in my brain. Susan. Welcome, Susan. Our consideration tonight is whether we want to accept this as a donation of artwork to our city, and then what do we do with it if we do? That's the sort of. So, if we were to say yes tonight, what would need to happen?
That's a great question. And I would recommend that we have a place to put it, because otherwise it may be just moving from their storage to our storage. And I don't think anyone wants that as the solution. So I think it's really important we find a good spot for this before we kind of would accept it into the public art program. The other piece that I always am concerned about with public art is the ongoing maintenance and making sure we're all on the same page about expectations. Because I think, as we all experienced last night, the weather can be heavy, and if it damages it, are we expecting this to continue to be shown and being shown in a good quality way, or do we need to take steps to kind of further protect it, maybe find an indoor place for it? So I think at the moment we probably really want to focus on finding a home for it if the commission is interested in bringing it in.
On that note, in terms of the ongoing maintenance, even with like our public piano project, we know that when we put those on the street, they're going to die a slow death on the street. Do we think that this artwork is a donation that ends up out in the public somewhere, enjoyed for a while, and then disappears, or is it something we would want to maintain forever? That's a question for our.
Jason, this is Pat. I have a question.
Yes, Pat.
I think identifying a location for it before we do anything is crucial. The city doesn't have that many buildings, and my anticipation is that this is something that it has to go inside. I don't think it's appropriate to have it outside. It's not designed for it, and as the Beaumont people said, it would never have survived a night like this, and we get much worse in February. So we've got to be looking, if we're looking at all, we've got to be looking for someplace inside. And the city, it doesn't have that many buildings. It has a lot fewer, for example, than the school district has. And very few of them have wall space at all, with the exception of perhaps of some of the fire stations where the trucks are stored, but that's not where you want this. So if you're talking about public spaces where the public will be able to access it and see it, those buildings are buildings like City Hall or the library or the community center. But though even in those buildings, there's not a whole lot of wall space, and the scale of this is what is so daunting. I guess a question I had is, and this is a technical thing that nobody might know the answer to, is would it be possible to reduce the size of it and still have it valuable by taking photographs of the panels and then reproducing them in a smaller size that might fit on some wall space that we might have in one of our buildings, rather than this gigantic size that it is right now, which to me, I have no idea, and I'm pretty familiar with all the buildings, and I have no idea where it would go. I can't think of a place where it could go. So would it be possible, do you think, to reduce it by photographing it and taking the scale of it down so that it could be displayed in a place where it would fit, or would that mar the images in such a way so that it would ruin it in terms of the photographic or in terms of the pictorial presence of it?
I feel like I disagree with you, Pat. I think it could go outside. I think it would be temporary. Like, I do think that we would have to assume that at some point this artwork would be retired. But I think if it was outdoors, I mean, we've had permanent work outdoors before, right? So we know that it does fall apart after a little bit of time. I mean, I feel like for sunglasses one and stuff, we had some, issues with damage.
There you go.
And after time, but it was wonderful. I mean, people loved those artworks at the time that they were up, and we could photograph it before we hang it, so that we could have smaller versions inside City Hall or wherever for eternity. After these get retired from being outside, but I think we could find a place outdoors, even if it's in a park where we put them back, we cut it apart, we put them back to back, you can walk on both sides of it, and it's only out for a year, and then, I don't know. I think we can find a place, but I just think we have to be okay with the fact that it's not going to be up forever. And Beaumont would have to be okay with the fact that, it would eventually, live its life and be done.
So, I saw Megan, you had a comment.
Oh, well, I was just going to say, and Larry, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think that was an expectation that we would have upkeep on this board, correct? If it were to.
Yeah, I mean, I think we are open to what's best for showing the artwork for for the city of Royal Oak. So to answer some of your questions, each hospital actually does have a miniature version of the mural somewhere in the hospital. Some may be a small photograph, some may be a little bit larger, or miniature, still smaller than that, but a little bit larger than a tiny photograph. We are looking for what should we do with this original. So that's kind of why Megan reached out to you originally. And as far as, we're not expecting a permanent home necessarily. We do realize how the size of it, which you've run into from a few other internally when we were looking for a home for it. So we understand that outdoor. We just don't want it to just kind of stay in storage forever. So we are looking for a place for it. If it was up for outdoor for a year, and I'm sure we could find folks, whether it's at the hospital or just within our community affairs, or even from the marketing team, to kind of kind of make sure it's still looking good for as long as it can be. I'm sure we could, we have volunteers that would help. I would be willing to help do that.
Can I ask
I'm
you
just seeing it.
Can I ask you guys a blunt question? If we didn't accept it from you guys, would it end up in the garbage?
I do not want it in the garbage. So I will pay out of my budget keeping it stored every year. I'm just going, okay, let's find a home. So I asked Megan, hey, look around, check out local communities, museums, what even large employers that may have an area for it, just to find a home. I know Megan spoke to the artist. She is open. She's whatever you guys find, she would support. So we have her blessing to find a home for it. We're not. I can't. No, I'm not going to throw it away.
Here's what I might recommend if I was going to make a recommendation. We do a big public art project called Art Explored every year, where we try to put pieces of artwork out for a year. Some things, that's fine. It's a statue, or it's a, something. Some are prints. We've had some pieces of artwork die a death on the streets in the past. I'm not saying that we're putting it out there to die, but maybe there's a way that this could be, submitted as an Art Explored piece, and we put it in a park or something for a year. Like Alicia had some great ideas on that note. What are people's thoughts on that? That way we don't necessarily take it forever, but maybe it dies with us that way. Does that make sense? No other thoughts?
I think yes. I think we don't need to necessarily tag the 1 year lifespan. That was just, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know, how long do we have the sunglasses up? I feel like
It was a year, maybe 3 years, maybe.
Yeah, it was a little while.
And then it
So,
just, yeah.
yeah, so I mean, I just feel like, if we find a good spot where it could be until, it couldn't be anymore, I think that would be great. If we can find a spot where people are like, well, we only can keep this for a year, well, that's something too, but I wouldn't put a time limit on it unless we have to.
The other thought is Art Explored doesn't necessarily happen all on city property either. It happens on some private properties as well. There could be a store or a gallery or something that this lends itself to in some sort of way that fits. Does everybody understand what I'm saying there?
Yeah.
And maybe there's a wall that needs a mural on the side of it for a while.
Right. So basically, if we could identify a space, we could even work as the intermediary to offer it up as we have a piece that would work if you're interested. We've done that before.
So on that note, I feel like we shouldn't accept it yet, right? Personally, because what do we do with it? It just comes from your storage to our storage. But what do you guys think about,
We accept the challenge to look for a space.
we accept the challenge to look for a space. How's that sound, Megan and Larry?
I love it.
I like that.
Yep.
But honestly, it can be all of us looking at it too. If you guys are driving around and you're like, wow, that place would be perfect for this. Like, let's all talk to our city staff and be like, hey, here's a great spot for that. And then we can revisit this. Does that make sense, Susan?
It does make sense. We can keep it as sort of an old business on the item or on the agenda. Does anyone want to kind of take on the looking for a space? How have we done that in the past? I'm not familiar with how we've done it in the past.
I think we just looked at available walls and then first.
Oh, yes.
I know, seriously.
You would call the business.
And call the business. Yeah, and I'm wondering too, there's the new Beaumont project here where Superior Fish used to.
Right.
But I don't remember, did they put in windows a lot? They put in
There's a lot of windows.
Because something like that could have been perfect spot for it, or maybe the back of the building. So maybe we, I don't know, I don't know about Beaumont, but if that's.
Can I ask, and we'll get to this in a minute when we talk to Susan, but maybe the Art Explored subcommittee takes on that? Does that seem like a good project?
Yeah, do you
I don't know
remember who
who's-
that was? I think that was me. That was you,
I mean, I can look
Yeah,
around.
yeah.
And I'm happy to,
Yeah, I think we're happy to take that challenge. I mean, it's not every day that somebody drops 16 by 32 feet in our lap. So, thank you. Thanks for thinking of us.
Love it.
Thanks for helping us. We appreciate it.
And honestly, I know that a lot of people will be inspired by it as well. So I think that's fabulous. So so what would we? Yep.
the dimensions, the 16 by 8, is that when it's like attached together, or is each panel 16 by 8?
Each panel.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
It's and then so it would make like a triangle with the backside longer than 16 feet or something if you were to set it up the same way. But as Larry said, it could be 8 feet by 16 times 2.
Correct.
So we'll all reconvene next month and do this again. Is that what the plan should be, or?
Yeah.
Does that work? How long do you have it in storage, Larry? How long's your contract?
I think we buy it. I don't know if we buy it year by year, quarter by quarter. I mean, we have no specific deadline. We're just hoping to find this is the year that we're going to find a home is what we're trying to do.
Awesome. I like it. I like it.
Cool. Do we need any official actions yet if we're going to table it till next month?
I believe you do.
Sorry, I can't hear.
You're good. Yeah, we're good.
We're good.
Trying to figure out like where the contrast is.
So do you want me to reach out? Jason, did you want me to reach out and touch base in a month, or are you saying for next meeting?
Susan, can you run point for them?
Yeah, so the two of them will kind of work together on finding a space, and how about this, we'll let you know.
Okay.
If it's not, if there's no space identified, then I think we'll probably just, it'll be on the agenda, but it will just kind of continue to sit there. So we don't forget it, but it won't be something maybe that we actively discuss if there's no update or anything.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Beautiful. We can't thank you guys enough for thinking of the
thank
city
you.
and helping us put art in the city. So thank you guys for
Yes.
joining us this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Appreciate
much, and all the work that you guys do.
Yep.
Rock and roll.
Thanks.
All right, I feel like I'm in a Disney movie because there's all birds chirping in the background. Can you guys hear that?
Yeah, that is you. We kind of figured it out. No.
They're like circling you.
We have another guest. Let me get back to my agenda so I make sure I do this right. Amy Abbott, Ray's Ice Cream. Amy, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Do I just launch into it? Go for it. My name's Amy Abbott. I'm an executive producer at Lafayette America, and we were approached by GoFundMe after the successful Raise campaign to save the ice cream shop. And GoFundMe wanted to create kind of a customer appreciation thing that was a thank you to the city of Royal Oak and Raise for saving them during the pandemic. And so the idea was to paint a mural on the side of Raise that says "Sprinkle Kindness." And that, I'm not sure, do you have a photograph?
Yeah, those of us in
Yeah.
person do.
Okay.
It's linked to your agenda. So if you pull up the agenda online, it's linked down there.
So the idea would be to work with a muralist named Kelly Golden to paint stripes. And if I can share my screen, I can show a picture too,
Sure.
Carol.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me.
All right.
My jerky mouse here. All right, you're all set now.
Right. So I'm going to show you an idea of what it would be, taking the color that we would like to do it in time for National Ice Cream Day, which is the 18th of July, and we would paint the sprinkle colors on the back end of Raise and have Kelly paint the entire mural, and then it will say "Sprinkle Kindness." And the goal really is to sort of have this piece of art, but also have it as just sort of a thank you for being kind and kind of an impetus for people to be kind as well, to remind us in all the little things we do that they do matter. So that's kind of the overarching thing for the mural and the idea behind the mural.
Super fun. Amy, Lafayette American, that's an advertising agency, is that correct?
We are, yep. We are a creative agency in Detroit.
Gotcha. And then GoFundMe was like excited about an ice cream shop getting saved by their
Yes.
platform, and they're the ones
Yes.
paying for it.
Yes.
And then your picture has GoFundMe and Raise logo in the mural itself.
Yep.
Is that correct?
So I can bring up the small print to sort of discuss that. Carol had mentioned that might not live, but the goal would be to just have very small. And recently the copy has changed slightly as well to 1,800 acts of kindness. Help save this small business. Thank you, Michiganders. Snap, share, and tag. And so one of the goals of this wall is for it to be Instagrammable and for people to sort of take pictures to remind people to sprinkle kindness. So that is a goal as people are waiting in line. And there will be a customer appreciation day as well on the 18th to tie this in as well.
Jody.
This is always my thing to do, Amy, so you get to hear me again. Well, we obviously, one of the I can't think of the word right now. One of the things that we always have to keep in mind is if we are promoting a mural, it has to be about the art, not about promotion. So I do think having the logo and GoFundMe on there, the murals are not supposed to necessarily tie directly back into the business because then they become advertising, not art. So I do think that would be, I think it would be shut down immediately if it said the GoFundMe, the Raise logo, even the, I'm guessing, snap, share, and tag it, the at Raise Ice Cream and GoFundMe. I'm not sure about the 1,800 acts of kindness made a difference, whether that would be included or not. But I'm almost positive that it would be in violation of our sign ordinance if we let it go ahead with the Raise and the GoFundMe.
I had a thought, so is this interactive thing, if we, and everybody got creative, so if we had to take the Raise and GoFundMe off because it is a conflict, can we, and then we have to take off where they're tagging it because that's the same thing. I mean, couldn't you have handouts in the ice cream shop so people could tag it if you take it off there? Because it is a brilliant way to promote the city and to promote Raise. And if we just take off the part that is in conflict with the signage, maybe you have flyers inside the ice cream shop so it's not a conflict, and that way you can kind of still do the thank you, and maybe that would work.
Or like a window cling or something where you go around the corner and it's, you know, it's there so it can be seen, because we don't have purview over that at all. That's that can be advertising for the city. And do have the kind of stuff on the city. I don't know, that's a good question. Girls, do you want to ask? Go ahead.
Could we explore putting at the bottom a hashtag acts of kindness Royal Oak and encouraging people to put it on the city's social media, where then Amy, you guys could share it on Ray's social media and GoFundMe social media? Would that be a possibility to help you too, while you also have the campaign inside telling people to snap, share, and tag at Ray's and at GoFundMe? You could just put on this one that's outside, you know, hashtag acts of kindness Royal Oak, something like that.
I would need to get it cleared from GoFundMe and take it back to my creative team. I'd be happy to do that.
I imagine, I guess, I mean, how are you feeling about this, Amy? So I imagine GoFundMe is probably pretty, I mean, they're gonna want their logo on, right?
They are, but they, you know, we are planning some other, we are planning napkins, we are planning cone cups and things like that. I don't have a problem asking our team about it and having them take it back to GoFundMe. Here's a question, and this is just me looking at this sign, and do you think if we left it off the mural and put it on the parking stops right there?
Oh, you mean on the concrete? We don't have anything to do with that. We have nothing to do with parking stops. I would like that.
So anything on the side of a building effectively in the city of Royal Oak is treated as a sign unless it gets this exemption from the Commission for the Arts, which just is a recommendation that the City Commission approve it. So so it comes through us, we do this process, it gets to them, and then they usually consent agenda those things. So, so a lot of times we can have a lot of ability to say that's art. So I think the sprinkle kindness message I'm hearing, at least from everybody here, that's a great message to be in our community, and I think it's a great place that I'd take my kids quite a bit. So, what should we do next, folks?
Well, I mean, I think if they want it to be done by next month, then it needs to be taken to the city staff.
So, yeah, the city commission meets on Monday, the 28th, and then not again until July 12th. And I know you really need to get the painting process. So I don't know if this body wants to approve it conditionally with the logos not going forward. And then we can put it on the 28th for the city commission.
Would that work for you, Amy?
That would be fine. And so it would be an approval with suggested adjustments, correct? With requested changes.
Just taking those words off the bottom in the logos.
Okay.
Basically.
I think you can keep the acts of kindness.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
I love that sentence, like that message. I think to keep that, I think you just have to get rid of the logos and the snap, share, and tag, and put that on the parking or wherever else you want to put it. But yeah, so I mean, you need to move that.
So moving the Raise logo, the GoFundMe logo, and the Snap Share Tag Us at Raise at GoFundMe, but keeping the 1,800 acts of kindness help this small business. Thank you, Michiganders.
Yeah, I could even make that bigger and remove the other stuff.
Yeah, because I don't know that that's objectionable at all. I mean, it's a lovely message. It really is a lovely message. So, but, and that really doesn't make it a sign anymore.
No, it's a thank you.
Yeah.
It's not a sign.
Yep.
Does that seem like something that would work, Amy?
I don't ever say anything. I'm not in the business of saying things are working or not. I will take it to them, and I would hope so. Absolutely.
For our purposes, we would only be able to vote on that basically. So,
yep.
So, do we want to vote on that tonight, or do you want us to wait till next month after you've got there?
I don't think we really wait on next month. They don't make the ice cream.
Yeah, I would like to vote on it with amended wording. And then I can go back to my creative team and have them be creative and figure out ways that they can get the logo and the Snap Share tag somewhere else on things that
We don't need to be
are
a part
not
of
on
that.
this side of the building. Yep.
Yeah, doesn't need to be a part of our conversation.
Not at all.
We're worried about art. So
Absolutely.
I would entertain a motion. Is there a motion out there? Jody. So second by Alicia. And to confirm, that's a motion to approve this as a mural, except for the logos and the Snap Share tagline. Correct?
Yes.
All in favor, Jody,
Yes.
Alicia,
Yes.
Denise,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Pat.
Yes.
Look at that. More art in Royal Oak. Go team. So I think city staff and you, Amy, will get together and move that to the city commission agenda.
Great. And I can get updated drawings from our team for that city commission so that we don't have any concerns.
Yeah, I can be in touch with you tomorrow, Amy, to talk about the timing of that.
Okay. Wonderful. Thanks so much.
No, thank you, Amy.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Amy.
Bye.
All right, go team.
Do I
Look at
get
some stuff.
Do I get a tag that says sign police or?
Yeah,
No, that's it, my own logo, sign police.
I do warn them all. Yeah, but not so
Hey,
I just thought that.
hey everybody.
Yes,
Yes.
I actually would.
I know there's still a bunch of stuff on our agenda. Is there anything pressing or super important in terms of Art Explored or Artist Laureate program? Public pianos aren't happening. Sharing the Warmth was in the winter. Summer concerts aren't happening. Sculpture garden project.
Quick update on the
Yes,
sculpture
Jody.
garden. Rick popped over after he made his comment before he left. Since we're going to be meeting in person, he'd like to ramp that back up. So we should be prepared to be discussing that in the coming months, which is exciting.
Beautiful. There's no celebration of the arts. So not to be racing through these things, but we had a lot of awesome people join us tonight, which was fantastic. But I want to be cognizant of everybody's time. Susan, let me ask everybody, like, are we all going to be hybrid for a while, or are we all going to start making our way back to the meetings next month? Any thoughts from the
Segue. So our current understanding is that what allows you guys to do virtual or hybrid meetings is going to expire at the end of July, right? Correct. And so after that, unless it is extended, there is no option to do hybrid or virtual meetings after that. So that is a question, is do you want to have an in-person meeting next month?
So I know that we're going to miss Laura, but what I would really like for us to do is have some time with you, Susan, to introduce ourselves, to give you some of the backstory of the last number of years, and to sort of have a little bit of strategic planning or something for us to either re-ramp up the projects we have from the past or scrap everything and start again, because we're at that moment, I think, right? We now have awesome leadership, and we've had such great tenure here with Carol. Thank you, Carol, for all your help. But I really think it's going to take a little bit more than 5 minutes at the end of this.
I would agree with that. I think it's probably worthy of being a bit of an agenda item next time under new business to kind of craft where you guys want to go as we start kind of coming back together.
Does that sound good or amenable to everybody?
Yes. Yep.
Pat?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
So, are there any other project? Oh, sorry, we do have one other thing, and that's Alicia to give us our Oro Mix Summer Art Mix Art Summer Project program update. Yes. No?
Yeah, so hopefully it starts today. Caroline had some trouble just sharing stuff because I'm a Google girl and WROK, I guess it's not.
Yeah, I get denied access to Google Drives all the time.
So we gotta figure out that glitch, hopefully maybe at the end of this meeting.
Just send me, can't you just email me?
I
It's actually Excel.
Well, the
sheet to
video,
it?
I can't. The video's too big to send.
Why don't you just, I can get started with the Excel.
Yeah, so I just sent you the Excel sheet as well as like a image, like the same like I made last time, but with.
Yeah, and I already posted that, but then I couldn't go any further because I didn't know the titles and everything. So start advertising. I can do that.
Yeah, so it's kind of, this is the one that I just made for like this week's.
Okay, good.
Right, so I will send you one like this every 2 weeks. So
Okay,
that you can just post that picture, but I also made a video because we all know that videos they get noticed.
Yes.
So it's, me talking horribly, but it works and it explains it. And so that's how I gotta figure out how I can get it to you.
Okay.
I send it to your Gmail as well as your work emails. So I was hoping maybe you'd be able to access it separately, but maybe
I don't have Gmail, so that was great.
Oh, yeah.
Unless I see some stuff up, I don't know about, but, yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I feel like I got an email that, okay. Well, I'll double check that, but so, so maybe we can find a way.
You could probably send
It's just a drive transfer.
Right, or I can send it to you.
Okay. Okay. But so, yeah, I'm excited about it. think, it'll just be like, when you guys see it posted, share it where you can, so we can kind of build up some excitement about it. I shared it like with my schools, and I plan on sharing it on like WROK Facebook.
We'll see. Can we get like a text or something when you're gonna send them out?
Did we figure out?
And that way we know that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can send out maybe emails.
Perhaps perhaps our state rep can help share that up as well. Kidding. I think I see it. I see some of that.
He's paying zero attention. Sorry, working on my work.
Kidding. So hashtags that go out, there's prompts, and then do we have prizes? Did we figure out were there prizes? I forgot.
We voted on $3,500, so we got it allocated like $20 ones and then 7 $100 ones at the end. And you have to be eligible for that. You have to just make now 7 challenges.
Beautiful. So there's prizes and people can be excited. I love it. Cool. Thank you, Alicia, for heading that one up. I just want to make sure, did I say the right things after our guests earlier? I hope I said the right things.
Absolutely, you did. And I know that I disrupted and I apologize, but I scooted over because there was some grumbling. I scooted over and I told them, basically, if they get together a plan and bring it back to us, and it's something we can support, then we can jump on board, but we didn't have the power to do anything for them. Since it's a private business and a private owner, that what they need to do is organize and get a plan to us. And if it's something we can support, we'll support it.
Jason, could I intercede here a little bit? Yeah. I went out and talked to them after they left here and kind of said the same thing Joey said. I told them, you guys aren't the one they need to go to. I suggested they approach the DDA. DDA has the ability and the funding to be able to do something with that property. And if they can make a sales pitch to the DDA, then set that up. I also told them to talk to Todd Fenton, and Todd will help steer in the right direction. But I also told them to start searching out for funding if they in fact want to set up a if in fact they want to set up a theater, go out and find some angel. Like I said, talk to the Illiges, the Gilberts, the Presby Foundations of the world, and find those big donations. But above all, you need to have a plan together. So you need to make sure that the landlord is on board. You get the DDA on board, which is going to help. And next time you make a presentation, limit it to 5 people that have good things to say. Because from experience, once you get to number 6 or number 7, you stop listening. So they took all that and the spirit was given. And so they're going to go out and formulate a plan. They're actually going to have a meeting amongst themselves to try to get a plan. So I think I sent them out there with some positive attitude. I said the Arts Commission will give you support, but they can't officially do anything other than just say it's a good idea.
Thank you. That's what I was trying to convey a little bit, at least with my words there. So
You did. They went before the DDA last Wednesday, so they had a little bit of experience. So it was just Pamela Murray.
Oh, so someone did go to the DDA.
They were, I doubt they were a little dismissive with her.
Yeah, that's right.
Because it was just her, she didn't have a plan.
I said, go in with a plan. Answer the question if they're going to ask you, where's the money coming from? What is your plan? All like that. You have the land. Answer all those questions before you approach these people. Otherwise, they're just going to dismiss them. But the DDA could make that happen.
I could love it. Thank you, Jim, for helping us.
Sure.
Appreciate that. Well, we are at the end of our agenda just because we blazed through the subcommittee reports. But I would entertain a motion to adjourn. As one. Cody. Support. Denise. All right, we got to vote. Jody.
Yes.
Alicia. jump to Pat.
Yes.
Denise,
Yes.
and then Laura.
Yeah.
We're just voting to it, Sharon. Thank you.
For clarification,
And I understand.
did you guys want to be in person or hybrid next time?
Do you want to stop recording since we're adjourned? Can we stop recording? Because I don't want to, yeah.
Oops.